Welcome back to the Takeout. Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn is urging his state to keep its open primary system. Some Republicans there want to close that primary, and that's a move that's going on in other jurisdictions as well. What that does is it means independents cannot participate. Earlier this week, I spoke with John Opdycke, who's the head of a group called Open Primaries, about why he's in favor of a more inclusive political system. Here's some of our conversation. Political journalism's super excited about the upcoming midterms, but there's a dirty little secret. 90% of them are over, right?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Well, right now, most congressional districts have been gerrymandered out of competitive existence. I mean, you know, we've seen this from Texas to California, all over the country. So the primary,
plenty were gerrymandered before that, right? But this just added to that.
It just in some ways cemented it completely. So now you have a situation in which 90 to 93% of members of Congress have one real election, and that's their primary. And unfortunately, the rules of primaries are, they shut out independent voters in roughly 20
They're partisan
states.
primaries, by definition.
Not all of them.
Not
California,
Not all
Nebraska,
of them, right. But the ones that are closed are.
Right, exactly. By definition, it has to be partisan to be closed. Other states that are open, the public hasn't yet caught up with the fact that these primaries are where all the decisions are made. So, look, all of us have been educated, and the real election is in November.
Right.
That's almost like as American as apple pie. And yet, those November elections are an afterthought. Most members of Congress are on a beach in the Dominican Republic.
Right. Either literally or figuratively.
Literally or figuratively, because they're so uncompetitive. So there's a real movement, and this is a huge task.
A movement to do what?
Two things. Change the rules. Let every American vote in every election, period. The primary is government funded, government administered. Everybody should be able to vote in it. If the parties want to have private caucuses, conventions, primaries.
To nominate someone or to figure out who the person they're putting up is?
Do it on your own dime and your own time. These are public elections, these primaries.
So let the public participate.
Everybody should be able to vote. But that's only step one. We have to change the culture. We have to educate and convince Americans that voting in primaries is not just something for the super partisan, for the hyper partisan.
Because the culture right now is...
Wait till November.
Right.
Wait till November. But the decisions have all been made in November.
Most of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably 30 congressional districts that'll be in play. And obviously presidential elections and Senate races statewide are still in play. The level of competition hasn't gone to zero. But
and John, I've heard you give lots of interviews, and I want you to help my audience with this, because they're going to hear you and say, oh, wow, well, if John got his way, then everything would change instantly. And what you have said on previous interviews is, no, it would not change instantly. Don't think this is going to unlock whatever your frustrations are with contemporary American politics.
Yes.
Why?
Well, first of all, there's a myth about independent voters. People think they're moderates. People think they're in the middle. People think they're kind of this. They're not. They're as ideologically diverse as the country. They're libertarian, socialist, moderate, liberal, conservative, and everything in between. What they are is people saying there has to be a better way than this scorched earth. Demonize your opponent.
The other myth is that they're sort of a gelatinous blob of indifference.
Yes, that they're fence sitters, they don't care. No, independents. There's research coming out of Arizona State University. Independents actually have much different social media networks than Democrats and Republicans. They want Democrats, Republicans, liberals and conservatives, socialists and libertarians in their orbit. They want to keep an open mind about things. And
they live in a marketplace of ideas.
Right. Independents are much more...
Whereas partisans typically, right now, siloed as they are, do not.
Exactly. So
that's why the parties don't want them in.
Right. They're hard to campaign to. You can't just say Trump is bad and get their vote, or Democrats are socialist communists and get their vote. You actually have to educate, engage, listen, and the candidates and the parties don't really want to do that. They'd much rather have a easy way to stoke fear in order to win. The other thing, so when you open the primaries and you let independents in, people sometimes say, oh, great, now all these moderates will get elected. No, Maybe.
Maybe.
But also, here's what we found is that there have been a number of states that have opened their primaries, and no one told independents. So turnout didn't go up. No one informed them, government or private. So now what's happening, we just passed open primaries in New Mexico, and we were part of a campaign to organize independent voters to record PSAs.
Public service
Yeah,
announcement.
saying, hey, we did it. It took us 10 years. We had to fight tooth and nail. We went to court. We went to the legislature. We finally won the right to vote.
You can listen to more of my conversation with John Opdycke on your favorite podcast platform.